High-ranking officials at the U.S. administration told Wall Street Journal that the Secretary of Justice has informed President Donald Trump last May that his name appeared alongside many other prominent figures in the DOJ's Epstein files, who was convicted of sexual assault and who died in prison in 2019. But the White House denounced the report and said it was fake. Billionaire Elon Musk had attacked a few days ago Donald Trump on social media because of the way his administration is dealing with the Epstein files. Is Trump really involved in the Epstein case? And will the relevant files be revealed? Joining us from Austin in Texas, journalist Justin Robert Young. Mr. Young, what is Trump trying to hide with respect to the Epstein case, or basically the list, the Epstein list, the clients list as it is called?
So the fact that Donald Trump is included in files resulting to Jeffrey Epstein is not really even news. They were friends for years before Epstein got into legal trouble. There is questions of exactly when they stopped becoming friendly, but the fact that they were is not really in doubt. What is interesting here is that Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, told him that he was mentioned in the files, this is according to the Wall Street Journal, amongst hundreds of names. What the White House has on its hands is a story that will not die. There's not a lot of new information that has come out about it. A lot of this stuff has been known for decades at this point, but his committal from his basis perspective to release these files has created a gigantic controversy. And what we don't know now is whether or not he is listed as part of some nefarious or embarrassing activity. That being said, we don't know how much of anything, any investigation is verified on any level. So there really is a catch-22 for the White House, because I don't think that they know how to make it go away.
To what extent can Trump use his influence to hide this list and prevent it from being revealed, especially that his name is mentioned in the list? So as a president of the United States, can he actually prevent this list from going out or hide his name?
Well, he can say that the investigation, the raw investigation, is not to be released. And that was essentially the decision that was made by his attorney general a few weeks ago that started all of this controversy. She said that there is no client list, specifically meaning that Jeffrey Epstein was not intentionally trafficking young women to powerful men. Which is something that's kind of gotten conflated throughout all of this. The only thing that we know for sure is that Jeffrey Epstein and his girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, recruited underage women for their own personal sexual deviancy. We have no idea whether or not that extended to what was also known to be Jeffrey Epstein's friend circle, his circle of influence, which included every rich person in New York City, every rich person in Palm Beach, Florida, and
I think
many
that you
heads
mean
of state,
Dylan
as well as
Maxwell, and who is currently in prison and
Mm-hmm.
who is basically serving her sentence. So I think there was a attorney general. His name was Alex Acosta. And previously, he also protected Epstein, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Are we witnessing the same thing? Because you have mentioned Pam Bondi that
Yes.
said that basically there's no client list. So are we witnessing the same thing now? Is Pam Bondi trying to protect Trump?
Well, specifically what you're referring to is the case that was prosecuted against Epstein in the state of Florida in the early aughts. And that was executed by Alex Acosta. Many people believe that what Epstein got, considering the evidence against him, was a sweetheart deal. There is some controversy about that. He did have to register as a sex offender. He did have to serve time. Whether or not that punishment met the crime, who knows? A lot of the controversy that came up around Epstein only really happened about 10 years later after Me Too, when a lot of this was re-examined and we had a larger furor around people that were in popular positions. I don't know what is new that has come out about this case. There has been so much written, and we already know so much about this case that I don't know what else is in those files, which is part of the reason why people want to see them.
But the appearance of Trump in previous videos with Epstein in several occasions, this doesn't mean necessarily maybe that he was on the Epstein farm in New Mexico or the private island in the Virgin Islands, the Epstein Island. So does it necessarily mean that anyone appearing in a video with Epstein is one person who maybe benefited from the basically sexual services that Epstein provided through the minors?
Well, again, we have to be careful about connecting a few things. There's no doubt that Jeffrey Epstein was extraordinarily well connected, and he is both on the record giving donations to, hobnobbing with, and being personal friends with a galaxy of bold-faced names. There is also no doubt, by way of the investigation that you mentioned earlier that Alex Acosta prosecuted, that he and Ghislaine Maxwell recruited young girls. What we don't know is how much, if at all, those worlds connected. So when we talk about the client list, that is an assumption that that is a thing that happened, and specifically that it happened with powerful people in his private residences that you mentioned in New Mexico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. But as far as the evidence goes right now, the only connection there is a woman by the name of Virginia Giuffre, who has had character issues. She said to recant a few things that she has said, specifically about Alan Dershowitz, the lawyer. So we don't know. And that's what makes this such an ongoing and enduring mystery.
And she passed away also, this lady.
Yes.
Mr. Young, in very ambiguous circumstances about 3 months ago. But she is not the only one, Mr. Young. She is not the only one who actually came forward to the justice system in the U.S. and claimed that she was the victim of Jeffrey Epstein and that she was trafficked. But in all cases, unfortunately, our time is up. Mr. Young, thank you so much for joining us from Texas.
Thank you very much.
العالم في صور في أبرز لقطات اليوم. ألقاكم غدا في استوديو 1 مع فضيلة.